one. All right, welcome back, Night Owls. It's Monday, April 3rd. Sorry for the delay, but we had some sleepy owls on the Leafs late night team a couple nights this weekend. So we're here. We're here, and that's what matters.
Sleepy heads, that's for sure. That would be moi. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. There's always, the end of the week. It's back-to-back games. It's Sunday night. It happens. I get it.
Well, you guys
so we're here.
had fun at the game. Sorry.
Oh yeah. And that's kind of what I wanted to start with is I got to show you guys. This is what the traffic looked like today in Ottawa. So just if you needed any further argument for why we need to move this thing, you can't even see where the stadium is on this map because it's so far, west of here. Yes. You would have to go through all of this. So we got a couple centimeters of snow overnight, and apparently in April, the snowplows are like, that's your problem. So everybody, I think I counted 15 accidents here along the highway. So super fun. I'm glad I didn't have to go anywhere today because I'm still off work. But,
you're talking like 3-4 lanes max, usually 3.
Yeah, I don't understand how that many happen. Like, I mean, the drivers here aren't great, but you can say that about any city, man. Like, drivers suck. So it baffles me that in a city where we get so much snow, if that snow happens outside of a normal time, it's like, what do we do?
People are confused because, sorry, Suthy, because we just had this conversation. They probably took off their snow tires already. So now the snow came and they're like, what do we do? Break!
3 times now I've had the thought, I should book to get mine taken off. I still should, but every time I've had that thought, it has snowed the next day. I'm like, well, good thing I didn't take them off yet. So
we
I
are
still
the
have
smart
mine on.
ones. Yeah, we still have them on. Every other day you see flurries or something sticking if it's not the rain. And yeah, you can never be sure here, but your traffic there, I feel for you guys because I don't think the roads were built like the 401 here in GTA.
No, they're not.
No. So one of the things with Ottawa that it has as an advantage over Toronto is that because it got big so much later in its life, there's been a bit more opportunity to plan for that. Things weren't already so crammed together. The disadvantage is that for some reason they built the highway as this very unexpandable bridge all the way through the city. So the 417 is like on either side of it there are buildings, so you can't add to either side of it. Like they really didn't think about expanding the highway at any point. Like they just said, that'll be good forever. I don't get it. They've put so much thought into everything else in the city to make sure that it works. They're expanding the LRT system and everything, and there's like carpool lanes and stuff. But yeah, all the way through the city, it's just this stupid 3-lane winding bridge.
So
dumb.
Pretty much the Don Valley Parkway, this long, winding, floating bridge through Toronto that was not built for our population. I mean, obviously it's the parking lot for the reason. 1 lane's reserved for the fucking buses, or else they'd be stuck. Man, they probably, same creator, did the same shit.
Yeah, city planning in Canada is always a little subpar. Anyway, let's watch a quick video and then get into it.
Yeah. Fuck, I love it when it gets like this out, all quiet and shit. Nobody out doing anything. I'm gonna hitchhike to the pot store right now and see how long it takes me. The way home will be better. I guarantee it.
Darty?
You have a great day too.
For those of you who don't know, that's Darty Brodeur, yeah. We are on the same wavelength today.
Is that you?
That's just some dude off TikTok who, by the way, I made a TikTok. Go follow it. There's only one clip up there, but I'm going to start posting clips from our shows. More fun. And thank you to everybody that went and followed it. We got lots of views on that first one. Love it. But yeah, that one was tagged as being, an American poet. And I would call that a Canadian poet. That sounds pretty Canadian to me.
Fuck yeah, bud.
You just finished going out for a rip.
Oh, and right on cue. You know,
classic.
it's like You say his name 3 times and he appears. Darty Brodeur is in the house. Welcome, my friend. And in a very similar setting than we just watched from this random man on TikTok. He is, in fact, wearing a hat and out in the woods somewhere with headphones on. So, wow. Life imitates art, man.
Yeah. Where the fuck are you?
Life imitates Dart, all right? I'm just, okay, so because I'm a man with a young child, I have to be, 1, careful the words I use around that child. Not that he can speak. And 2, but I don't want his first words to be any of the things that come out of my mouth. So, especially on this podcast. And 2 is I get pretty loud, and I just don't want too many distractions. All right, so I begged and pleaded, and I'm just in my wife's car, just out here recording live for you folks. I know you did message me a few times, and I've been away on many adventures and have not been present. And you know what? Every time I look at the podcast picture, I see my face in the bottom middle. I'm like, every episode I'm not in, they're going to be wondering, there's going to be new people coming to the podcast. Like, who the fuck is this greasy bastard? So I should show up every now and then, right? It would behoove me to be a part of the team. So.
Well, happy to have you, and it means that you get to join in on one of our new roundtable questions that Chris Hurley has sent us in that I will get to later. We got games to talk about. Did you catch either of them this weekend, Darty?
I'm not going to lie to you. I have followed the scores. I haven't actually seen too many of the games, but I'll tell you right now that I had a lot of opinions on Michael bunting, and maybe we'll get into that. I don't know how you guys feel.
Oh, we'll hit that.
So I guess the first thing to talk about, Suthy and I went to the game. We were in separate 300 seats, but we were in 300 seats. So, we'll start with you, Suthy. How was your experience?
I found it was like being at a home game if the Leafs home crowd was fun. Like, there was 90% Leafs fans in that arena, and it was lit. Like, it was so loud. It was my nephew's first NHL game. Like, we had a ton of fun that night.
Yeah, I said on Twitter, but it was 80-20, and that was being generous. 90-10 is probably a little closer to how many Leaf fans were there. It's nuts. And, we talked about this 2 weeks ago when went to the last game, but I think this one was even worse. Like, there were more Leaf fans, which is crazy because this was a really must-win game for the Sens. There was one really loud Sens fan behind us the whole time who was just – there's always the one vocal
I had one too.
Right?
Like, she was holding it down for the Sens.
Yeah. How close were we together? Was it the same person?
I was in 312. I think you were across the way, though.
Oh, yeah. It was 323, so we were opposite ends.
So does directly looking at each other. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Steph, right. It's all good. I just want to know, does anybody know if there's a market price difference between the Leafs games and, say, any other team coming into town? Because
oh, yeah.
Drastically.
So I get email offers for like buy one, get one free for $30 for like Columbus and Chicago and Minnesota games and stuff, like the ones that they really can't sell. And then the Leaf games, like for the 300s, I'll say like it was $150 for those tickets. Like,
yeah,
they're still not cheap to be in the 300s there when literally you can go to any game you want for under $50 there otherwise. Maybe except for like Montreal.
Even then, you're probably looking at like 70, 80.
Yeah, I'm wondering what other teams they jack the price up for. Like, it's probably a little higher for like Rangers or Bruins games or something. Yeah, the Oilers come to town.
I went to see him play last year. I think it was like $70.
Wow. Around Christmas time, they have packages you can buy of like 5 games. It comes with a scarf and a toque. Like, they're really trying to push tickets there. But Leaf games, it's a joke. Like, it was a completely sold-out arena. And I'm not talking like it's a sellout, but all of the season ticket holder seats are empty. It was packed, like 100%
over 20,000.
That's nuts.
For that
Holy
arena,
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
An arena that was taking seats out because the Sens couldn't fill them. But the one thing I want to say is the only negative, aside from the usual parking nightmare there, the one negative I want to touch on was actually getting into the concourse. Like, we were, you pick the lines outside when everybody's trying to go through security.
Yeah.
So we picked a line that looked the shortest, which was probably our first mistake because that's a bad sign. Because why isn't anyone else in that line? And we soon realized it's because people keep switching out of this line as they realize that every other line's going faster. But we're thinking, you know what? If enough people get out of this line, we'll eventually move our way up.
Wrong.
Sure enough, but wrong. Exactly. Wrong is the correct response. So we get to the doors, and by the time we like are able to close them behind us, we notice that we're the only one that's still aligned. Every single one has cleared. There is nobody else waiting except for the people that are in our line. And it's because every door fed into 2 metal detectors and ours only fed into 1. So we were moving literally at 50% the speed. We chose wrong.
Damn.
Yeah, and then you have to
Silliness.
go up the flight of stairs to like scan your tickets, and the concourses there are probably the thinnest in the whole NHL.
I don't
from
understand.
Arizona.
Their system is like they have 4 people standing on the stairs with scanners. Like literally 3/4 of the way up the stairs, there's just people there to scan your tickets. Like, what? Why are we making people line up on steps? This seems kind of dangerous and silly. Like, you couldn't do this anywhere else. But I get it's just because they want people to get through the concourse because it's so small. Like, it just doesn't seem like it was ever meant to hold as many people as there are
But like
seats.
I mentioned earlier, I went with my mother who has a walker because she has a hard time walking. So we had to have someone come down the stairs, ticket us, show us where we can go to catch an elevator, which was like a 5-minute walk. The whole thing.
Oh
was
my
just
God.
there.
Yeah, that's crazy. And just getting around, like, it's packed there. Like, the line for the they have this new thing, Drink Market, where you can, like, it's like a self-serve drink thing where you can grab stuff out of these fridges and then you put it in a scanner thing, and it's like a self-checkout. For some reason, the line does not move any quicker. You'd think it's fast, but people are slow as shit. And the worst part is everybody picks that thing because they think it's going to be quicker. So the line starts like impeding on other lines of things. So like I was in line to get a hot dog and the line was going all the way to like where the condiment thing was. So it was like holding up the hot dog line. Like, it's just a mess there, man.
Because the concourses are so small. Like, it's so thin. There's barely any room.
Look, they're self-conscious about their concourses, all right? Leave your concourses alone.
I will not.
So,
but you know what? Leafs won. And here, you know what? Since we're now going to talk about hockey, let's
we're going to talk about
let's do an intro.
Hi, this is Mike Ross, public address announcer for your Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is the Leafs Late Night Podcast, your post-game destination. And now, your starting lineup: Roscoe, the Fanalist, Suthy, Beaner, and Darty Brodeur on the Leafs Late Night Podcast.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, here we are, talking Leafs. Ottawa game. You know, 13 minutes in now. I used to give sitcoms shit when they did the intro, like 7 or 8 minutes in. It's like, no. It's too late. You've missed it. We're at the first commercial break already. But you know what? We can do whatever we want here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
It's our show.
So the parking sucked. The building sucked. The food sucked. The service. The lines. Blah blah blah.
I dropped my foot-long hot dog on myself at one point, but it was really good.
The atmosphere and the game did not suck.
Yes, they shut that shit down. Got, Sammy smiling. 0 for Miro, as they said at the end of the broadcast because of his son, Miroslav. And yeah, what a night, Saturday night comparison to Sunday. Anyways, oh my God, I'm glad you guys got that experience compared to the Detroit game experience anyway.
Yeah, and that's not to say that there were not some hurdles at the beginning of that game. I mean, the first period was pretty boring. Like, it was
shots after like 12 minutes at least.
Yeah, and I mean, even Ottawa was like, the person behind me who was the huge Sens fan was saying, like, the Sens do realize they need to win this game, right? Because it doesn't look like they realize they need to win this game. And honestly, it just looked like a couple teams skating around waiting for the playoffs when, like, I mean, sure, the Leafs might be, but the Sens were not, right. And it did not. It was a little strange. And it felt like the Leafs are kind of waiting to see what the opponents are going to do here. Like, are you going to come out strong, or is this going to be a night where we can, rest the guys and just skate around a little bit? And I think they were expecting more from Ottawa, and that just didn't come. So it kind of threw them off. At least that's what I can concur.
Yeah, the first period, shots 5-10, Toronto with 5 shots on net, no goals. The second period, we get all 3 goals happening. Then the third period, even Toronto, 4 shots on net compared to Ottawa's 13. And of course, they're trying to scramble and catch up in the game. And also surprising to note, not many penalties. I mean, Toronto had 1 power play opportunity. The Sens had 2. And for how rowdy it seemed and how on each other's tails they were, you know, like Sens were right on it. They were tracking Toronto like crazy. I was surprised that there were barely any whistles.
Yeah, I mean, the Leafs they seemed faster than the Sens, but the Sens were able to at least like maintain, and you can at least hold positioning in front of your net. Like that's a fail-safe, and it seemed like the Sens were kind of at the end of their playbook. Like nothing is working, so let's just go to, you know, the basics. It's kind of what I felt like I was watching.
And especially in the first 2, I felt the Leafs had a really hard time like breaking out, so they had no puck control going in off the like center ice zone. And a lot of the first period was played between the 2 blue lines. Like there was just so many turnovers in the middle of the ice. Neither team really had too much going on. Even the Ottawa shots I found were mostly from outside. In the second period, obviously the boys turned around, they got 3 goals, and it kind of reverted back to that in the third a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's fine to do that when you've got the lead already, because then you're at least protecting something. But yeah, the first just seemed like they were thrown off by how, I don't know, slow and unengaged, disengaged, whatever the disengaged Ottawa was. Because, like, really, I was expecting them, like, there's all this talk about they're fighting for this last playoff spot. I know mathematically it's possible and it's not ultra realistic, but, you know, they're still there. So I thought it would be more of an exciting game from them, but they just didn't seem to have anything.
Yeah. Chari's still out of the lineup, so we get to see the Big Z make his first appearance as a Leaf. We did not see that coming. I didn't anyways. Oh my God. I thought we'd see maybe Holmberg or someone else come up before him, but hey, for 6:15 total ice time, 1 goal, I'll take it any day of the week.
4 shots too.
He was very noticeable all night. Like I didn't know who this guy was. Like my eyes are awful. I'm up in the 300s, even with glasses. I can't read their names. So I'm like, who's 53? Like Achari's out. It's not Lafferty. It's not Aston Reese. Like, who is number 53? This guy's everywhere.
Marincin is back.
And then when he finally scored, they're like, Radim Zohorna. I'm like, oh shit, let's go. And the dude was so happy when he scored. He did like an extra loop around in front of the net and like a fist pump, and you could hear him from all the way up at the top of the arena. Just whoa! Dude was pumped. It was almost as loud as when Marner smashed his stick going to the bench at the end of the game. I'm telling you, from the very top of the arena, that sounded like the loudest thing the entire period. Like it was,
he was pissed.
I can't explain like how that just cut through. Like it wasn't like ultra silent, but it was like he hits his stick and you could hear a pin drop for like 2 seconds after. It was nuts.
Wow. Damn. Well, the Big Z played well enough to earn a spot on Sunday, and he doubled his ice time with 12:09. He only had 2 shots, but hey, it was nice to see him along with Nick Abruzzese. Got called up was it the first time this season? I feel like we haven't seen him in so long.
First time this year,
yeah. And again, over Holmberg, we saw Connor Timmins, first time since beginning of February as well, and damn.
I mean, I think you play guys like Holmberg when you're trying to still win games mid-season or early season, but now when it's approaching playoff time and you're going to potentially lose some guys to injury, I think you got to see what you got from these guys.
Especially like a guy like who's like, what is he, 6'4", 6'5"? So if you're going into playoff series and someone gets hurt, you want someone who can play on the bottom 2 lines who's going to be big and nasty too, right? And Holmberg's not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I think Zohorna is 6'6", 220.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Everyone's saying like he has like 2 sticks out there. That guy's a beast.
Yeah.
And for anybody following the puck on that, it's Radim Zohorna, who was formerly Dryden Hunt, formerly Dennis Malgin, formerly Mason Marchment.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. But glad to get the shutout on Saturday. Don't know what the fuck happened on Sunday. And now we're here because the game's
Sammy
clearly,
was fantastic.
Yeah, Sammy was great coming in relief. He even said in the interview later on that it's hard in a back-to-back. You're sore, there's stiffness, but at the same time, I appreciated that there was full accountability. Like, he didn't have any excuses. Someone brought up the fact that maybe your routine changed and it could have thrown you off. He was like, no, like, your mood changes. You got to get in there immediately when your time is called. And I really love that about Samsonov. Like, there's no pity parties. And Matt Murray, man, like, we got to feel for him at this point. Third injury of the year. Eye roll.
You know what? Before that, Bunting and Nylander's shots on top of Zahorna's all 3 goals were beautiful. I know they were against Mad Sogard, but like,
they were nice.
Beautiful. I didn't realize Cam Talbot was healthy again and backing up Sogard last night or Saturday.
I didn't even realize he came in the game.
Yeah, they don't tell you. It was just like, oh, is there a new goalie? And I'm like, oh, it might be, but I can't see who it is. I don't know who. But
I feel
apparently
like
it was Talbot.
We're kind of burying what happened to Murray here. Like, is this a concern for us? Are we happy that maybe Wall has got the second position now? Because I've always been a Murray stan. I think regardless of what happens in the regular season, we've seen what he can do in the postseason. This guy has another level, and if he can hit it, it's great. But maybe the injuries are just too much now.
Yeah, I mean, I was with you. I wanted him to be at least playable all season, just so that when they get to the playoffs, he could, dig into his experience there. Whereas Sammy's got 1 win in the postseason in his career, so it's a big difference in terms of the playoff numbers. But it seems that it's exactly what we feared all off season, was that he was just going to keep getting hurt. And I mean, when he has played, he's been decent. Like, his away numbers are better than Sammy's, so at least there was some shining spots of brightness there with him. But like, I don't know what you do with this many injuries. Like, if they're just resting him until the playoffs, like it's something that's minor and they're just okay, just sleep it off until we get to round 1, or if it's actually like he's unable to play for the next couple of weeks, either way it's concerning.
Yeah, the good thing about this, though, was that it was mandatory that Murray had to get off the ice and couldn't return to the game. Like, you couldn't assess it right then and there. It's just because of his history and concussion protocol. We still don't know the severity of the injury. It kind of sucked. Like, you didn't see the guy coming and he slammed his head in the back of the ice. Like, oh, just brutal.
Just shitty luck.
You can't blame anyone. Yeah, exactly. Even Ray, man, like... sliding, like he had no control, but yeah, we'll see.
Oh, lost Steph there for a sec.
But I think, what she's going to say is like, we're just pretty much waiting to see what's going to happen with him. And if not, then we have a pretty decent backup right now in Wall. Like, I trust him quite a bit.
Yeah, I would be more concerned if we didn't have a tested backup goalie. Like, if it was just Shelgren, I'd be a little more concerned. But Wall's been good, and
especially with the way Sammy's
Shelgren
been playing,
as
right?
the
Like,
fourth. Yeah, I'm less concerned. Like, Sammy could definitely be a starter with a backup, as opposed to being a 1A and 1B like they planned on.
He feels like a clear-cut 1A now.
Like, a recent shutout will do that, though. So,
I mean, a 24 and 7 record will do that as well.
Yeah, I just think at this point we gotta expect that Murray's probably not gonna play in the first round. Like, it doesn't look like it, at least.
It's hard.
Hi, Steph.
Oh, hey.
I don't see you, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, what the hell? I'm trying to fix that, but yeah, hope for the best for Murray, right? Like, he's proven, Suthy. I know you love him from your Pittsburgh loving days. Oh my God, this guy.
I still love him.
Yes, you still love him, but he has to prove himself. Well, he's proven, but prove with the Leafs, right? That he can stand tall during postseason, especially. Just stay positioned. No little slip-de-doodle, fucking pizza. Don't know. Like, just stand tall, man.
this other thing, like we're going into the playoffs again, and now there's this other question mark, and like, is this a team that really needs that right now?
We need exclamation marks, not question marks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Slippy
while we're
Doodle
talking
Pizza
about-
is the name of my sex tape.
Slip Doodle Pizza. Oh my god.
I don't know what to call it. Like, just every fuck up in one phrase.
Before we move on to the next game, let's throw in the trivia that I wanted to do. So feel
my
free.
cam won't work, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, see if you can get that going. Yeah, actually fix that because I want to be able to clip this with your video.
And we lost her. So that's
silliness.
the opposite of a fix.
Well, I'm hoping when she comes back, it'll be there, you know. So, Darty, what's new, buddy? It's been a while.
I don't got too much new. All right, just like the usual grind, focusing on improving myself every day and how to be a great dad. And that comes with
Good
a little
for
bit of
you.
toxicity in the sense that I noticed that my son is a little bit left-handed, and I was like, "All right, he's going into baseball right away."
Amazing.
We
Like,
picked
the
the
same
sport.
day I saw him using his left hand for everything, I was like, "Wait a second!" Like, I was reading an article about like left-handed pitchers and how much money those sons of guns make, and I was like, "You know what?" Immediately, I was like, "Your hockey dreams are dashed. You are becoming a pitcher."
He'll never be a goalie, that's for sure.
Okay, Steph, we can see you. So we're going to play a little trivia called Who Has Started the Most Games in Net for each team? Last time we did point leaders. This time we're going to go Who Has Started the Most Games in Net? This one's a little
For
trickier.
this season or just
hard.
like ever?
For this season.
Okay.
I'm ready. I think.
Okay, so we're going to go alphabetical, starting with the Anaheim Ducks.
Gibson.
Gibson
Yeah.
is correct. Arizona Coyotes.
Vesmelka.
Yeah.
Karol Vejmelka is correct. Boston Bruins.
Allmark.
Hallmark is correct. The Buffalo Sabres, who have had 4 different goalies play.
Yeah.
Significant time, too.
Maybe Craig Anderson.
That's a safe bet, but I
Close second.
Yeah. What's the other guy's name?
Luukkonen?
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is correct.
Luukkonen.
great name.
Nice. Oh, good for him.
Carolina. This one is so
Ready?
tight.
Freddie's
Freddie?
been injured a lot, right?
Freddie Anderson
think
is
he still has
correct.
it.
So Freddie has played 18. This is by just minutes I have here. 1,807 minutes, and Kochetkov 1,403. Ranta 1,379. So they're really
Damn.
close. The Columbus Blue Jackets.
Corpusalo at the time, but
Yeah.
now he's off the roster. It has
Merzlikins,
to
or does he tell he
be.
was injured or no?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Merzlikins.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the trades, I don't have I don't have those ones in here. Calgary Flames.
Markstrom.
Markstrom.
Markstrom, correct. Chicago Blackhawks have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people play in net for them.
Mrazek.
Zarek.
Mrazek.
Peter Mrazek is correct.
Holy shit, for real?
Yep.
So dust.
Mrazek.
Rocking a 894 and a 363 goals against.
Radish and Mazarek leading the way.
That's insane. Colorado Avalanche.
Gorgiev.
Yeah.
Gorgiev by a mile. Dallas Stars, another easy one.
Rottinger.
Ottinger.
Jake Oltinger. I don't know why I said it with an accent.
And now you can't lose it.
Gottinger.
No. Detroit Red Wings.
Huso's been injured. Is it Ned?
It's Ville Husso.
Okay.
Oh,
Edmonton.
Skinner.
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 Skinner has an entire 800 more minutes played than Jack Campbell. Skinner with a 911 save percentage and a 287 goals against versus Jack Campbell's 866 and 348. Ooh. The Florida Panthers.
Bob.
Bob.
Bobby.
Bob
Bob,
is correct. LA Kings.
Well,
Corpusalo.
it is.
Peterson?
No, it's Quick.
Jonathan Quick is correct. Minnesota.
Fleury?
Fleury.
Oh, well, they are rotating. Very
Fleury-
close here. But
Fleury
Fleury.
is correct, just by 500, just under 500 minutes. And wish they still had him in Ottawa. Philip Gustafsson has 2,064. So they're both.
wow.
Gustafsson has
They
a
rotate.
933 goals against, save percentage, and a 201 goals against. He's got far better numbers than Fleury.
Yep.
Sam Montembeault. Sorry, not Sam Montembeault. The
Montreal
Canadiens.
Canadiens.
It's not Sam Montembeault, actually. I was just reading the name.
Allen?
Montreal. Jake
Allen.
Allen's correct. New Jersey.
Vanacek.
Yeah.
Check is correct. Nashville.
Juicy.
Juicy Sorrows.
Juicy, of course. And another putt in New York Islanders.
Soro.
Yes. Rangers, obviously. Igor
Shesterkin.
Here's a tricky one. The Ottawa Senators
That is a tricky one.
Forsberg.
with 6 different goalies.
Forsberg.
Incorrect.
Talbot?
Talbot.
Cam Talbot is correct.
Wow.
Just barely.
Nice.
Philly.
Hart.
I
No,
don't think it is.
It's not.
He hasn't played
It
enough.
can't be. No.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Carter Hart with 3,000 minutes, guys.
Who's their other
Played a
tendy
ton.
then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why
Simmons
can't
is
it
he
be?
did.
Somebody else. I don't know. Who's their other tendy?
Yeah, I was in the same
Sandstrom and
boat.
Urson.
Yeah. Two unknowns.
Pittsburgh. Close one.
Jari.
Jari. Just barely. Casey DeSmith is only behind him by a couple
Would have
games.
said to Smith.
Wow.
San Jose.
That would be a rhymer.
It is correct.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Grubauer.
What?
Nope.
Oh, Seattle.
The other guy. They. What's the old
Jones.
San Jose goalie? Jones. Yeah.
Jones.
With an 887, Martin
Thank
Jones.
Not Drieger.
St. Louis.
Bennington?
Bennington.
Of course.
Shithead.
Obviously Vasilevsky and Toronto Maple Leafs.
Sammy.
Samsonov.
Sammy. And then we go to Vancouver.
Demko? No.
Not Demko. No. It's the other guy. What's his name? Oh my god.
Colin.
Mockery.
I'm drawing.
G.
So this is the
Walker, yeah.
closest. This is the closest one. And by closest, I mean like they are less than a game apart. It's like 25
What's his name?
minutes difference between their time on ice. And you guys already got it. It's Thatcher Demko.
Nice.
Hey, there we go.
Who
What's
has
the backup's name?
Spencer Martin.
Oh, thank you.
Who they've literally played 1,693 and 1,668 minutes. Like it's so close.
Wow.
I would have
Vegas.
said Thompson, but he's been out for a while.
Thompson.
Ish.
It's Thompson. He only just got
Yeah.
hurt end of the season here. Winnipeg is
Hellebuck?
obviously
Hellbuck.
Connor
Ain't no
Hellebuck.
Hellebuck, girl.
And then last up, we've got Washington.
Kemper.
Yes, correct. That one wasn't as hard as I thought it'd be. I'll find a better one for the next one. But we need
Yeah,
to
if
do
I could get half of
trivia
them, then
if
you
you
know
want
it's not hard.
and then you know, we did point leaders, and I don't know. We can do something else next. But who has the best whatever on each team? Trying to guess them. It's fun when you get to the teams that are a little, you know, out of the race.
Yeah. And fun fact, guys, this episode is season 2, number 67, if that
Is it?
means anything to anyone.
Oh, it is. Look at that. Look at you checking in.
And
60.
Speaking of out of the race, both of you guys in the free
67.
pool right now, the free fantasy.
yeah.
I had my worst week. I lost every one of my fantasy matchups this week. I had,
Darty in
like,
its final.
every week in the Inside the Rink one, I was rocking like 400 points, I broke 500 one week, like high 300s, and then I'm against you in the playoffs, and it's like, yeah, I mean, well, how about 250? Is that cool? I have a suggestion. Can we make the playoffs for our fantasy league start earlier? Because this whole like load management shit when we get into the last 2 weeks is getting annoying. Like for me to just, Kirill Kaprizov's hurt, we're just going to rest him until the playoffs. Patrice Bergeron's just going to sit a couple games. It's like, what? This is screwing me over.
So we should have been done last week, but since our fantasy season started 1 week late, that's why.
That always happens.
Yes, because either someone backs out and we need another player and we have to move the draft, or not many people confirmed for draft time. It's just a shit show. So this year, I want to get everyone in by like October 1st.
Wouldn't it be nice? I'm not going to sing anymore because we're going to get copywritten.
Not if it's parody, Roscoe. Not if it's parody.
That's true. It's fair use, baby.
Yeah, and Luke Shin saying, what's a guy got to do to wear a blue jersey around here? Finally got his wish come true Sunday night, because after so many games, this guy went through a St. Pat's jersey, a reverse retro, or freaking Bieber jersey, and everything under the sun except for the Toronto Blue home jersey. So that was the first time. And I kind of felt for him because he said, every time he turns around, he's breaking in new gear.
Speaking of breaking in gear,
man on the porch.
Yeah.
And speaking of old men, since we already touched on Murray going down, it has since come out who the E-bug would be had Samsonov gone down.
Is this a real thing?
I'm pretty sure this is a real thing.
I watched the footage, and it looked like he was limping going into the dressing room with that bag. Like that was a ginger walk.
Hey, don't use that word.
I no offense meant or anything like that, but like he didn't look like he was ready for the butterfly.
Okay, so if anybody missed it, Cujo was spotted with some goalie gear wandering around the annals of Scotiabank Arena, and people were speculating that he would have been the emergency backup had we not thrown Samsonov in again.
I've got so many questions. Like, does he leave gear on reserve here just in case for this moment?
Why would it have been him? Like, why wouldn't it have been like? Is it a cap thing? Like, could they not call someone up? Like, I don't understand. I feel like they just
don't want another David Ayres situation. Work. You can't have that with with Cujo. You know what I mean? It's just fucking Cujo. It's
Could you fucking imagine if that actually happened?
First time since 2008, and then we got. Would Luke Shen have played on the team when Cujo? No, I guess not.
Yeah, I think he was drafted in 2008, wasn't he?
Yep.
Oh my god, that would be insane. I can't believe the people that Shen played with. Like, looking back at how long it's been, like, it seems like an eternity ago that all these guys played on the Leafs and fucking Shen was there. Oh my god.
And now,
Shen was there.
In current times, Thomas Caberlet is his neighbor in the new house he bought.
Isn't that nuts?
Yep.
He was meant to be a Leaf again.
He said it's his first D partner coming into the NHL, showing him the ropes, and now he's showing him the ropes outside of the rink in the Toronto organization and in the neighborhood. So that was funny.
Babysitting.
Isn't him being Caberlet's partner like basically the same now as him being Riley's partner? Like, didn't that come full circle and he's in the exact same position again? Like, hey, we have a guy who doesn't want to play defense who's going to be playing forward with the other three guys, so you have to cover the entire other 40% of the rink. You cool with that? And he's like, sure.
Right.
I've done this before.
Something I was surprised about during this Detroit game, guys. I know Nick Abruzzese got called up, but
Nicky Alphabet.
Yeah, his first NHL apple. I thought this kid had a couple apples and maybe even a goal up his sleeve. I
feel like we talked about him a lot last year. That I for sure would have guessed that he had like at least a couple points.
I was surprised to see it. First NHL assist on this goal that happened right after the power play expired, or right on the dot. It's counted as a power play goal. Callie Yarncroke here, but yeah,
he just had a goal last year. He didn't have any assists.
Wow,
learn something new every day.
Wow, right.
So in 10 NHL games, he has 1 goal, 1 assist, and 2 penalty minutes.
Thumbing his way up the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, that whole sequence with him and Timmins, and it was awesome to see all the guys that were getting an opportunity that night, like working together to create something. So
yes.
All of them, I'm happy to see Timmins get a game in, because I feel like he actually can contribute if people go down.
And I think especially since we've seen Liljegren making some Dermott-esque mistakes lately, I think they're just trying to see, if we have to go to somebody else, is Timmins still up to speed? And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
It was so nice because, of course, the first shot on net, Murray lets in 90 seconds into the first period, and you're like, holy mata, holy fuck, you're still in the NHL. Like, you scored. And
he's still in the NHL. He's my age.
Well, maybe his father or something. I feel like this name, who am I thinking? There was a similar name that, I don't know.
No,
maybe
it feels like he's been around forever, but he's...
Okay.
That's what happens when
him and
Chief success early, though, right? So...
Oh, I would have guessed he's like 35.
Maybe.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Ollie Mata and Matt Murray are the same age as me. They're 28. Like, we're
Damn.
all 94. Like, it seems like these guys have been in the league forever, and they're the same age as me. I know, because it's like... when there's the athletes that are your age that you kind of just keep tabs on and be like, what if I was an athlete? Yeah.
Yeah. What are they doing? And where am I? Sitting on my ass watching them.
Well, sorry to go off topic for a second.
Super young. I mean, old.
Well, Ollie Mata, when he was like 20 or 21 with Pittsburgh, left with like leukemia or something. So, I mean, like, I remember he missed time fighting cancer. So it just seems like something that an older player would be doing, not like somebody on an ELC. So I think it's just, he's been mentioned a lot since he's been in the league. So I think it just feels like he's been here forever.
That's fair.
Yeah. And it stung, right? Like 6 goals a year, of course, you're scoring against the Leafs, and it's through Lafferty, right? You want the new guys to succeed, and then Timmins draws the power or the penalty, so you get on the power play. Man, the power play was looking shit on a stick. Good thing for the second unit and all these new guys coming together, because Nicky Alphabet, then Yarncroke, and Timmins, looking like he's been quarterbacking that second unit this entire time. Love to see it, right? And Gustafson's still out, guys. If no one's noticed, like, he's still been away for like a week or so now.
So it's interesting, like, to read the game on Sunday, because like you said, Gus is out, O'Reilly's out, Achari's out, Marner's out. This team is going to look nothing like this. Hopefully, like, from the end of the season, at least the beginning of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what's good to know is, like, outside of the top 4, what do you have? If you take them away, if anybody goes down, like, we've seen this team deflate when they lose Tavares, or, when any of these guys are out of the lineup, it seems to just run its way through like a plague. So I think to know that these guys have confidence without having to lean on them, I think is a good thing.
And not to mention, like, the can worm that is Nyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What if he pops in?
I just feel like everybody, since like his name was mentioned this year, seems to think that he's going to pop off like Cale Makar, and I just I don't want to give people a reality check like until it happens, but at the same time, it's like I'm still like, call me a negative Nelly here, but I just don't see it happening. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I know he's great. I know he's got incredible numbers.
I fully think we'd see him this season.
Even if we do, I don't think he's going to pop off or make that much of a difference.
I'm with you, Darty. I really do not see it. I do not. We have so many competitive guys waiting to come up with an NHL experience. I don't think he's going to be the second coming, like a Bedard coming in and saving the fucking day here. Like,
I'm not saying he's going to like pop off or anything, but I'm saying I do think we see him before the playoffs are over.
It'd be cool to see, but I don't want him to cost us anything.
100%.
So just to run back to the 67 episode of our second season, guess how many followers we have on Twitter right now?
1967?
1967.
Nice.
That's sick.
Is this a good or bad omen?
I don't know. I hope it's good. Another thing I wanted to, as I'm scrolling through looking for questions on our Twitter, I brought up, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode, I apologize if I did, but I brought up a while ago that the difference between the goal differential of the top scoring team in the Bruins and the lowest scoring team, the Anaheim Ducks, was extremely wide. Like, we're talking plus 100 to minus 100 wide. And I asked, when it had ever been that bad, or if that's like a common thing, and we'll look it up. So I looked it up. I had to go all the way back to 1995, 1996 to find a season where there was a wider difference between the highest and lowest goal differential in the league. This is the worst in the salary cap era and worst since 95, 96. So when I last checked, the Bruins were plus 118, the Ducks were minus 115. It's 233 goals difference. That's insane.
It's another team.
Insane.
That's worse than like some teams' first years in the league.
Wow.
So tank hard for Bedard, baby.
Yeah.
Last time it was
Well,
that bad, by the way. 1995-96, Detroit was plus 144, while San Jose was minus 105.
Damn.
But yeah, the funny thing is, the Ducks are minus 115 in goal differential, but they're not even in last place.
Well, that goal from Yarncroke, oh my god, 19 for 19. First time getting 19. Highest was 16 in his career. Everyone's breaking records, it seems. These newbies, even Samsonov breaking his former stats with the win on Saturday. And David Kampf taking his first career penalty shot.
The Leafs haven't scored on a penalty shot since Phil Kessel. I think they said it was 11 years ago was the last time.
Oh my god.
You don't do that whole penalty shot type thing. Not
or,
great for us.
shootouts or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it had to be somebody who was on the ice, and nobody on the ice had ever done it before. So they're like, fuck it, I guess David Kampf is doing it. Like, Jesus.
So when Keith was asked, he had to see if it had to be someone on the ice or not. And I thought it could have been anyone, actually. Maybe I misheard
It has to be
that.
someone on the ice. Yeah.
Okay. And he pretty much said he read the body language of the guys, and Camp just lit up his eyes, and he seemed like the only one who really wanted to do it.
It's like when a teacher asks a question, and like everybody's just like trying not to look at the teacher, and then you just glance, and you're like, "Oh God, I caught eyes with the teacher! Oh no, you 7 times 8." Oh,
yes.
I feel like if you're Keith, you look at Camp and you're like, "All right, bud, your hands are like 4.2 out of 10 best. You're going to go to hash marks and you're going to shoot this. I'll take the shot."
Yeah.
Like,
he had a good try. He just got too deep. He tried to dangle it around, but just in too deep.
And I'm trying to keep all the blood in my head. Classic. Yeah, man, the poor Sens. You know, Mad Sogard, you got to give it to him for trying to hold on for this team. But just to go back
what
to
happened
that,
to him? Like I said, I even realized he wasn't even in the third.
I don't know why they pulled him. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I was just
it was
looking
like
at the
an
questions
injury
for
or
that
like
game.
illness.
Okay, let's do questions though, because I got them up and we're getting low on time here.
Okay.
So, should they have taken Sammy out in favor of putting Cujo in as E-Pug? Might have been the only chance for that to happen.
Yes.
This is from Ryan Willie. I mean, obviously, but I don't know if that was even the case, as we've discussed.
So,
I wish.
When Keith was asked, he said he did not know who it was as the E-Pug, but he definitely knew who it wasn't. And I think he was referring to Cujo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Benito the Basset Hound. Is bunting going to get called for roughing. Baby taking Corey penalties, elbow to the face in Game 7, 2 minutes to go, well tied. So, I get the gist of that. So is Bunting going to basically be a liability penalty-wise come playoffs?
At some point, yeah.
Darty, you
Hopefully
want to
not
talk
against
about
7
Bunting.
at the end, but yeah.
I feel. So I know, like, if you look at the episodes and you listen to them, sometimes we definitely, like, especially myself, we waver on how we feel about the Leafs, right? Sometimes we really feel like this is going to be different, and then other times you can definitely tell we feel like, nope, it's going to be same old, same old. And I just want to bring us right back to manifesting this. I'm manifesting this energy. I'm bringing it right back to positivity here. I really do feel like things are going to be different. I think that, we got some pretty shit feelings with our time with Nazem Kadri, and especially with him winning the cup now and like being competent and being a great and valuable addition to his team and not being, burdensome in that aspect. I think it left a bad taste in our mouths because we know that what these guys are capable of, and we're looking at Bunting here. Like, we know that he can be great. I know that he can be great because I had him in fantasy this year, and every single person that I would watch his numbers go up and down for how many people owned him. So once I had him, I did not get rid of him, and some nights are better than others, but this guy has paid off for me in dividends. He's doing amazing. He's doing great. He's doing better than I expected. I don't remember who I replaced it with, but like I said, like with everything I've seen visually, everything I'm seeing, just looking at the fucking numbers, like this guy is good. So it's not a matter of whether he's good or great. It's a matter of if he can keep his head up. And I think that I really hope that, like, knowing what we know about the Leafs, right? Because we don't, what is insanity? Insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result, right? I think these guys understand more than ever what they don't want to be as a team. And if you'll know where we are if these guys do it again. If they screw up again, we're going to be so angry. This deceit, the whole place, we're burning it down. Like, it was going to be like this last year, right? So all I can truly hope is that Michael Bunting smartens the hell up. I think, even if with this last one, right, that he got cross-checked in the back. You know what I mean? Right? Like, I think, especially going up against Tampa still has their assholes, right? Like, those guys are not nice guys. Like, they're pieces of shit. Like, there's a reason. Like, I'm sure they go home to their families and they're loved, but on the ice, they're miserable human beings. So, like, I don't think Michael Bunting is that person in comparison to the rest of the bruisers and the idiots of that team. I think that we might get lucky with the calls on Bunting. I really do. I think he's gonna play it just smart enough not to be Nazem Kadri. Leaf circa.
So there you go for it.
I think, to Darty's point, it's 100% right. He is going to be playing smart enough to not be Nazem Kadri, but his reputation throughout the league this year is going to cost him eventually one penalty that shouldn't have been called. Because this guy plays on the edge, and one ref is going to call it one way that maybe another won't. And I don't think it will necessarily be his fault, but he will inevitably cost a costly penalty. Hopefully not like a game-winning penalty, but he eventually will get called for something that he shouldn't be.
Well, and the difference with Tampa is the guys that are the assholes a lot of the time are Stamkos and Kucherov. So it's not like he's going to be getting pushed around by some guys that don't matter and, retaliating against them. It's going to be, important minutes that could eventually cost them because, Kucherov takes a swing at him and then he retaliates and Bunting's the one that goes to the box. Like, those are the kinds of things that I don't want to see happen, but are kind of inevitable.
Yeah. Last night, I don't know if it was a blessing in disguise to really see how magnified the refs are on Bunting, because, like, even just looking down from my game notes, I wrote, like, are the refs gearing up for the playoffs? Because there were so many non-calls, and I'm so afraid that it's going to be this way again, like last year. And like you said, Suthy won too many, and it might go downhill. Oh my God. But it was bullshit. And then it wasn't last night. For example, the Wallman cross check, and they say Bunting embellished it. No, man. Like, the second cross check, he literally fell forward. Then he got pinned down. Like, how do you call that? I think the 10-minute penalty was when he was backing away. There were two Red Wings chasing him, but he had one of their sticks in their skates, and he kept it in their skates, kind of like a keep away game, and it was on purpose, but he was trying to play it off as it wasn't. I don't know if you guys caught this, but there's a clip going around showing this as well. And they caught this. He's caught red-handed. He's literally like, he loses the stick once and goes back to get it between his feet, like just being a rat at that point. So there's a limit. You have to, you know, like that's the limit. Like don't even fuck with the sticks. Don't do that kind of shit. Don't lick anyone. Like don't do the stupid ass shit. Just finish your checks, play hard, be a fucking rat, but don't break the rules. Like
bend them a little bit.
Yeah, my last,
break them a
my last
little
thing
bit.
to add to that, this will be
Just
quick,
nothing
short and
stupid.
quick, is that like I know he's like, just like Suthy said, I know he's going to get in trouble. I don't doubt that. But what I think is key here is the reaction to that. And I think that these guys are going to learn, Bunting is going to learn that the reaction after the fact is what's going to be his saving grace, right? If he can smarten up, if he can just keep his cool, you know, yeah, you can still be a rat. Yeah, you can still mess with them, but you can't, you know, if you keep pushing people the same way and you keep, you know, exacerbating your attitude, right? You're not being sneaky. You're going to keep being a dick. You are going to get kicked out of the game, right? Like that's what happened with Kadri, right? He tried to be too handsy, you know, got a little too hot-headed, you know, decided he was going to play rough. And unfortunately, the consequences, you know, outweighed his value, right? He got booted, and who's to say if we could have won that series if we got to keep him for those games, right? We just got to make sure not like, yeah, we're gonna get penalties, they're gonna get penalties, right? Because we're not always at home and we're not always away. But you know, if these guys can stay on the bloody ice, if they can stop getting kicked out, if they can actually, you know, use their heads and be sneaky about it, but also at the same time still play rough enough that hey, don't fuck with us. We're gonna be, you know, it's going to be a different ball game for us than in the previous years.
He's just got to not fuck with the refs. Like at the end of the day, like it just like you said, take the penalty and go to the box. Don't start arguing with people because it's going to be a 7-game series and you might end up with the same refs for 3 or 4 of those games. Like don't start some shit. Yeah.
And we know Tampa, they're experts at getting away with it. It's like they know where the angles of the cameras don't show, even though we're all staring. But they somehow get away with everything, right? And it'd be a shame if Bunting got suspended during the playoffs, knock on wood. Like, I really hope not. But Elliot Friedman, like, literally said on the broadcast that the refs were pinpointing Michael Bunting and like saying shit that you wouldn't ever expect to hear an insider say, like straight up that the league is, I don't know, making it unfair for the Leafs in a way.
I just have to throw in here Zapper, VI Blue and White, the refs and Bunting. Does he being targeted by the refs dull his game for the playoffs? The whole narrative of Bunting being at fault really grinds my gears. It could not be more obvious the refs target this guy's every move. So along the same lines here, is it going to make him less effective in the playoffs? I don't think so. I think it's going to be nice to have somebody that's maybe trying to pull the same shit on guys like Stamkos and Kucherov to get them to retaliate. Like if he can flip the script on them and, you know, try to send them to the box a couple times, I think that's helpful. Yeah. That's really all. Like it's nice to have somebody that's going to stand up to them and not get pushed around. So, and jump in when somebody starts going after Marner. So, you know.
All of the highlights in the last couple weeks for Tampa, sorry, Suthy, I've just been seeing brawls. Lots of breakouts and fights. It's like they're fighting their way through the final month of the regular season. So if that's any indication, I'm glad we have Shin on our side this time around.
That's what I was going to say.
But Tampa also went on a really bad losing streak of what was it, like 11 of 16 or something they lost, and they're just, I think they needed to wake the guys up coming into the playoffs here, so they've improved honestly like overnight since these brawls. So I think it was just a matter of waking the team up. So you know, getting the stamina back, refilling those bars after a fight as they do in Chell. Okay, you guys ready for a fun question?
Let's do it.
It's from Mikey D. So Darty, since this is your first time joining for one of these, I'll let you start. So the question is, movie marathon, what 3 movies do you go with? So is this, let's establish the ground rules. Is this like Desert Island 3 movies, or is this like you're sitting down to watch 3 in a row? Because that's kind of different.
Or is it like a franchise, like part 1, 2, 3 type of thing?
Hey, I think that those are definitely applicable. But like, I would say, you know what, movie marathon implies sitting down and watching 3 of them in one day. You know, like spending a Sunday watching 3 movies. So, Darty, if it was a Sunday afternoon, you got nothing to do, what 3 movies are you watching?
I'm outside walking. I had to do a quick little bathroom break.
Yeah.
Incognito.
Oh my god.
So
Out of the car.
I'll be back in the car in just a second. So what 3 movies? It's a lazy Sunday afternoon. I'm picking 3 movies. What am I watching? It's a tough one. I feel like I haven't sat down and watched a movie in a while. But if we're going to talk about like old movies I can like pick off of like a DVD tray or something, I feel like I'm watching all of Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen them in so long. I'm going like, you know, like Lord of the Rings, Fellowship, Two Towers, you know, Return of the King. I feel like I need a little LOTR, you know, sesh.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Respectable. Steph, what about you?
Never have I ever watched Lord of the Rings. Sad to say. Never have I ever watched Star Wars.
Oh my god.
Definitely not that. When you think of like movie marathon, my brain instantly goes to Harry Potter. Just because there's so many and you gotta like watch them in a row.
Which 3 though? If you're doing 3 Harry Potter movies, like where are you gonna start? You're doing like the middle, like 4, 5, 6, like 3, 4, 5 kind of deal?
I have to go from the beginning, but maybe the end, just because I've seen them the least. I've probably seen the first 5 so many times, like the first 3 especially. But
my boy,
My boy.
Harry Potter has not attended
I would go
Hogwarts
with
school
like
this
maybe
year.
even. Right, and then you find all the cast members hiding where they fucked up and didn't edit them out or whatever. You guys see those movie people, TV people? You guys?
Yeah. Hello, Hermione.
Also, the Scary Movie series, if you haven't watched in a long time,
oh my god,
why the hell not? It was literally, I did it recently only because it was on Netflix, and I'm like, damn, it's been over a decade. Why not?
I don't know if I could do 3 of those in a row. Oh my god.
Or like the Halloween
brain
series.
cells.
Or like Scary
Scream,
Movie,
right?
like the actual horror ones. Or Scream. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Scream. Yeah. I like horror movies, so something like that. Sorry to take up a lot of time.
So that was about, I don't know, 15 different answers. Thanks, Steph. Way to keep it concise. Suthy, what do you got?
I feel like my number 1 choice probably would be Lord of the Rings, as I named my last 2 cats after them. I have a few tattoos. But just to spite Steph, I'm going to go episode 4, 5, 6 of Star Wars.
Nice.
Pretty short.
Nice.
The originals, can't go wrong. Great afternoon of watching movies.
I just recently did the Back to the Future trilogy. Forgot how good that was.
Another great one.
Also, didn't realize, because I watched it, I guess, last when I was quite a bit younger, that they recast Jennifer between the first and second movies. Like the girlfriend.
Yes.
She was like, in the first one, she's Hispanic, and then in the second one, she's just like some white girl. I was like, what happened here?
The first one, they filmed half the movie with someone else before they had Michael J. Fox.
I think it was even more than half, but yeah, it's crazy. You can go and watch like the clips of Eric Stoltz in some of the scenes that, you know, like finished edited
Buddy,
scenes.
we gotta go back to the future.
But if I'm
1.21 gigawatts.
Great Scott.
1.21 gigawatts, a bolt of lightning. Wait, what did you say? A bolt
You
of
keep saying
lightning.
that. Is everything heavier in the future?
Oh, great. So You're doing
It's because
great,
I can't
Doc.
do a good. I can't do a
That's
good
pretty
Rick and
good.
Morty. That's why.
So I'm gonna go with my guilty one would be like probably like Fast 4, 5, and 6.
I fucking knew you were going to say it. I knew
It's
it.
like a guilty pleasure. Because so it's just like this. That's when they get silly, but they're not like in space silly yet. It's just like, you know, street racing through Mexico and stealing a safe out of a wall. And
I always have a soft spot for Tokyo Drift.
You know, Rio, I think it was. So yeah, that one too is good. That's the second or third one. But
No songs in my head.
down. Yeah. So, like, if we're talking marathons, like, if it's a good movie, I'm not watching like 3 really good movies in a row, right? Like, because you want to sit with it and, like, you know, take that in. Like, oh, what? Like, if I'm watching, you know, the Batman or something, I'm not going to go and watch. I mean, you could watch like 2 other Batman movies, I guess, but I don't know. If I'm watching like some Oscar movie, I'm not watching 3 of them. So if it's a marathon, something that I'm just throwing on Sunday while I'm doing kind of some other things and probably ingesting some other things, I'm going to say Fast and Furious. Any 3 before number like probably 7. I think 7 would be the last one. Everything after that, I don't think I've seen, and that's where they get crazy.
How about Shrek?
I was gonna say Shrek 2, man.
That's great.
I was
If I
gonna
had
say
to pick
Shrek
3
2 is
different
fantastic.
movies, then Shrek's definitely one
It's
of
a
them.
good
Silver
series.
Linings Playbook and Rat Race.
Rat Race. Oh my god, what a weird cult movie. I love that.
Never
if I'm
ending
going,
story.
If I'm going 3 different ones, it'd be like Superbad, Hot Rod, and
What's that one thing for Hot Rod?
like Napoleon
you
Dynamite.
look pretty,
Land
Denise.
Before Time.
What's that? You look shitty, Denise.
Oh,
What was that? I said you
Land
look
Before
shitty. Good night,
Time.
Denise.
Isn't there like 20 Land Before Times?
oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't Wikipedia that.
Brave little
movie
toaster.
series. You just get sad.
First movie I ever saw in the theater.
Oh, nice. I had a bunch of those on VHS.
Me too.
So, what is our next game? We got Columbus next?
Tuesday, tomorrow.
Yeah. And then
Tomorrow
Bruins
against...
on Thursday.
Oh my god.
Who do you want in net?
So many games this week. And then they got one on Saturday. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about
Wall.
who's going to play in net this week. How many games should Joseph Wall play?
2 to 3.
I agree.
That'd be nice.
Especially
Yeah,
because
that'd
Sammy had to play the back-to-back when he should.
He owes him like a Rolex.
Murray owes him dinner.
Well, I
So
hope
give Wall
Murray...
Columbus, give Sammy
I wouldn't want to
Boston,
give
and
Sammy
Wall again
I
Saturday
wouldn't want to
against
give him
Montreal.
Boston because like
Actually-
Boston's are a piece of shit. They'll run our tendy because they know that there's a chance that we'll play them. You think like that's why I'm just telling you like these
That's
teams
a good
like,
point.
like
You're
this
wrong.
league we're not the Yankees. Like we are the Yankees but we're not. This league does not fucking like us. We don't have the money to outspend other teams. They will play dirty if they can. You know what I mean? Like it's not they'll I call me a conspiracy theorist, but because like we are the most unfortunate
True.
rich team in this league, like if Boston has the opportunity to take out our goaltender, even if we don't end up playing them, it saves them like a ton in the future. So I'm sorry, but I wouldn't play Sammy there just because I don't want him to get injured.
Maybe you're right. You go Wall, and
Even
then
better,
Sammy.
yeah.
Fuck it, put in Shalgren.
And
Fuck
they mentioned on Overdrive, it's not even the first time in a back-to-back where Murray got hurt and Sammy had to come in again. Like that's
No.
the second time this season that's happened.
Yeah. It's a huge problem.
Yeah, because I mean the whole point of having these 2 guys is that they can split these back-to-backs, and now twice we've had to put Sammy in. Like that's just
Yeah, but he didn't pull his groin, right?
I
Like,
didn't
we have
want
remember
this to
with Murray.
be. It's not Peter
he
Mrazek. I'm not
like
gonna
just
say
went
it's a
out
Peter
and all of a
Mrazek
sudden was like,
situation, but,
oh my balls. you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like he actually, I'm pretty sure he got run, right? Like he actually got hit by something.
No.
Like that's
It looks like he's got
you
a
know,
conky.
whether regardless of
Yeah.
whether it was
Yeah.
intentional or not, like these are things to be expected. We're too
Yeah.
close to the end of the season. Like we can't. I know we don't want to play like we're like like we're a bunch of pansies. Like, we're scared our goalie's going to get hit, but we kind of have to be. Like, we have to be cautious. Like, our goaltending is what has been killing us every year.
Honestly, yeah. Last thing before we head out of here. Oh my God, Matt Duchene. Oh, how horrifying is that?
Yeah.
So yeah, taking a
Darty,
shot.
did you hear about this?
He took a shot to the hand.
You muted.
He muted himself.
And he lost the
from
tip
his
of his
from
finger.
his own teammate Dante Fabro.
Ay ay ay.
So we all saw in the Leaf Nashville
right?
game
he forced it into his finger.
We see him skating off, holding his hand like this, just kind of limp, and he's like, "This is not good." And we thought, if something's broken, he can't move it. It's probably extremely broken. Did not expect there to be something missing. They said it was gushing blood, but I didn't really put two and two together that he got Mark Methoded.
There was a prize in the glove.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? They're like, "Wait, where is your?" And he's like, "It's in the glove."
Wonder how
some
much
trainer
of it.
just pukes like
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
How the fuck does that happen? Like, has to get you just on the right angle and just pull it right off? Because I've been using the glove a lot of times. Like, I've broken my thumb before, I've broken my hand with shots, but I've never lost the tip of my finger.
Like, you'd have to. Here, I'll
Did they put a razor blade on the edge of that puck?
Demonstrate with a mini stick here.
Science corner with Johnny here.
It would have to be. It's like how they reenact things on TNT. It would have to be that it hit.
So Johnny, you be Crosby, and I'll be that guy that also lost the tip of his finger. And you show me how it can be.
You have a shitload of padding on your fingertips, though. It has to catch you on the inside of the glove.
That was a slash from Crosby. This was a shot, so that's even harder. But so I don't understand how if you're holding. I know I'm holding a mini stick like
just
an idiot.
Just the tip,
but
Johnny.
How did it? Was it his thumb or did it get because it must have hit right on between his finger and the corner of the stick. It's the only way that could happen unless blunt on flat surface would not. And if it did, that's a fucking gruesome injury.
It's like a knife. Right against the stick.
No, it's not like a knife. A knife would be a clean cut. This is like if you took a board and the corner of your fucking desk and cut your finger off with that. Sorry to get graphic, but it's not like a knife. A knife would probably hurt less.
Regardless, poor fucking guy. This guy's had a tough career here and there. He was finally settling it again, and now this. Yeah.
And it was funny. When he first left the game, I went to my fantasy teams and I was like, maybe he'll be back. Nope. There's no way this guy's back.
I drafted him on almost every team after his breakout year like a stupid idiot. And that's why I'm not playing in playoffs right now for a lot of leagues. And yeah, never draft him. Hope he recovers, but wow, he was such a disappointment.
Between him and Logan Thompson and Kirill Kaprizov, I just got shafted in the last couple of weeks of fantasy.
You and me too. I didn't make the playoffs.
I barely did, and I'm now out of all of them. So, good game, everybody.
I'm still going in two. Darty, it's you and Callie Cartel in the finals of our free league. Yeah, so good luck to both of you.
I got so lucky this season just because,
especially you, Darty.
I feel like my team has stayed relatively the same. I've had to move a couple defensemen, and my goaltending was just completely shuttered once I lost Thompson. And I stole what's his name from you. I stole Campbell from you. I don't know how I have Skinner and Markstrom. There's got to be a bunch of idiots in this. I'm sorry, I love you guys, but I was like, wait a second, how do I have two solid goaltenders right now? But I guess again, but the thing is, But
No
the
one
thing
saw
is, too, is
Skinner
like
coming.
everybody's streaky, right?
Markstrom's also
when
not
you're
good.
when it's crunch time, you're middle of the pack, but you can kind of rise through the league. I can see how you'll dump a goaltender for something that'll get you more points, right? And that's why, like I said, I was able to pick up Markstrom and Skinner, and then like I've been rotating. Like I've had I feel like if you have a lot of points and a lot of luxury with your crew, right? Sometimes your forwards fail you, sometimes your D fails you, but if they can both back it up, then you can kind of like run more than, I feel like if you're running 4 goaltenders at any point in time in the season, you're probably fucked, but like like you want to be able to just only use 2, right? You don't want to be like if you have that luxury, then you can use you always use the guys in other spots. But I just got lucky is that like I've been able to go through this rotation of goaltenders, everybody that nobody wants because they go cold. I picked them up. They've become great. Like I had Campbell for a while until he went cold. I got Skinner. Markstrom had a couple good games. I had the same problem like fucking Roscoe, like Logan Thompson, like. Come on, like Glass Joe over here.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This year is such a hit and miss with injuries and people not performing up to expectation, let alone the whole team of Calgary
Brady's
letting us
better.
down. Holy fuck. Everyone banked on them. And
No kidding.
the Fleury and Gus tandem has been keeping me afloat in my $25 league. So kudos to them. But Campbell, what a horrible 5th round draft pick.
But Jack Campbell's elite, Steph.
I know. It just horrible. I feel for him, guys.
He squeaked out a win the other day.
Yeah, against the tank team.
I do less and less.
Yeah, I just, man, I thought he would turn it around after the holidays even, or after trade deadline. The dates just keep getting pushed and pushed, but they have playoffs. Hey, he could enter playoffs and turn it completely around. You never know.
Yeah, they were like on the verge of missing it at one point, and now they're like, yep, we're fine. We might go first place in the division. It's like, what the fuck happened there?
You clinched.
Clinched.
Okay, well, let's get out of here. I want to try something, see if this works. Is the video gonna... Haha. Kinda.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Leafs Late Night, your night of post-game podcast. Available after every game on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and more.
And follow Marty Zylstra and Mikey D because their names both start with Sam, and that's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. Also, join the Discord. I'm going to throw it in the description. Bye.
Bye.